The Bible says no sin is a grain large as a grain of a mustard seed will get into the kingdom of heaven. She didn't even want to take us trick-or-treating because it was a secular holiday. You're still sinning, and you should not be standing in church indoctrinating people to something that you truly don't believe in. You can say one thing, but you're not doing that thing.
Can you give us an example?
Okay. You got some preachers out here who are sleeping with prostitutes, but that's not godly, is it? All of my children are biracial.
Okay.
And I had somebody stand up in church and say, he called white people vanilla. Why can't you just call them Caucasian? You cannot stand in here and say God loves all children. He created all people equal when you're standing here calling white people vanilla. You're not even giving them the due justice of their ethnicity.
What's up, YouTube? Top Flight USA back with another one. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Good.
All right, man. I met you sitting down there over there on the sidewalk. You told me you had a pretty good story I can capture. I would love to hear your story, some of the things that you've been through in your life, some of the experiences that you had. I know we won't be able to get everything in this video, but we can get some of it. Let's just start from the beginning. What's your name, age, and where you from?
My name is Alex. I'm 43, and I'm from right here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay. What side of town was you raised on?
Well, actually, I was raised in Clayton, but I live here in Raleigh now.
Okay.
Clayton, North Carolina is just outside of Raleigh, maybe about 20 minutes outside.
Okay. And you was raised there majority of your life?
Yep.
Okay. Well, shout out to Clayton and shout out to Raleigh.
Yep. That's
All right. Let's talk about your upbringing a little bit, and we'll kind of work our way into your story there.
Okay, I can tell you that to begin with. The easiest way for me to say that, grew up in the church.
Okay.
My grandfather's the pastor. My uncle's the assistant pastor. My mama's a minister. So my entire life, I was never in the street. It was always in the church. You had Bible study on Wednesday. You had joy night on Saturday. You had Sunday morning worship, and you had Sunday evening worship. So my whole life was pretty much sheltered into the church.
Wow. And I know exactly what you mean by that. Being in the church, my mother was in the church a lot. So going to Bible studies on Wednesdays, church on Sundays, choir rehearsal on Saturdays.
Yep.
I know all about that. Vacation Bible school.
Yep.
I know all about that.
Couldn't go to the school dances, none of that. She didn't even want to take us trick-or-treating because it was a secular holiday.
Right.
But, I mean, that's just the way she was.
Okay, so you're a Christian?
By belief, yes.
Okay.
I'm not in church every Sunday by no means necessary. I do believe there's a lot of hypocrites in churches.
Okay, let's break that down.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I see that you can say one thing, but you're not doing that thing.
Can you give us an example?
Okay. You got some preachers out here who are sleeping with prostitutes, but that's not godly, is it?
No, it's not.
Exactly. So how can you stand in the pulpit and preach to me that I'm doing wrong when you're doing wrong?
Wow.
Even if we're not doing the same wrong thing, you're still doing wrong. The Bible says no sin is a grain large as a grain of a mustard seed will get into the kingdom of heaven. So my sin is no different from your sin. You're still sinning, and you should not be standing in church indoctrinating people to something that you truly don't believe in.
Wow. And was that a personal experience you went through?
Yeah, it was. In all honesty, all of my children are biracial.
Okay.
And I had somebody stand up in church and say, he called white people vanilla. Why can't you just call them Caucasian? You cannot stand in here and say God loves all children. He created all people equal when you're standing here calling white people vanilla. You're not even giving them the due justice of their ethnicity.
Wow. Did
And
you?
so when he said that, I was like, yeah, all my kids are half white.
Right.
So
Was your kids present in the moment?
one of them was, but thankfully he wasn't old enough to even understand. He was only like 2.
Okay.
But yeah, I went to that person and I told him, I can't deal with you. And that's it. I love you from afar. And that's it.
And did this happen in your parents' church, or was this another church?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Wow.
It did. It did. And that's the thing that really gets me, because everybody else in my family, even if they're not ministers or not, they are all accepting of every other race except for this one particular person.
And why do you think that's happening like that?
I mean, granted, he grew up in the 50s and 60s, so I mean, I think he's still holding on to some of that. It's like I tell my wife, my mom, she had to go through segregation as well as integration of schools.
Okay.
Me and you, all we've known is we're going to school together, so we're a lot more accepting of each other, even though there's still some racial problems. Still,
Okay.
we're a lot more accepting of each other just because we've been thrown together for a good long while.
Right. Man, I know that made you feel a type of way, especially with the church being part of your family. And then on the other half, you have your personal family being interracial like that. It just, I mean, I know that had to be difficult,
It was.
you know, and you had to make a decision. And was your decision to just kind of put space in between?
My decision was an easy decision that I made. You're talking about my kids. I have a spiritual relationship with God. I can still have that spiritual relationship with God. I ain't got to have it there. And so, as soon as they said it, what I did was I got up and I walked out of church.
Wow. That's something else right there.
I packed up my guitar and walked out of church.
Oh, so you was a musician
Yes,
also?
sir. Yes, sir. Sang in the choir, played the drums, the guitar, everything. I left that off. Simply because of that. I didn't leave God's spiritualism, but I left that. And I really haven't found a church simply because I don't trust everybody in the church, because of one bad experience can ruin something for everybody. Shouldn't be that way, but that's what it is.
Wow. I can understand you completely, brother. I've been through my own experiences. I had an elder in the church tell me I shouldn't dress how I was dressing. And yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Right.
And that's what kind of slowed me down from the church. But
Right.
yeah, man, it's a lot of politics in these black churches, and I hate it got to be like that.
That's true.
Growing up, did you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have one sister and one brother.
Okay, where are you at in the birth order?
Oh, I'm in the middle.
Okay,
My
you're the middle
sister's the
child.
oldest, and my brother is 3 years younger than I.
Okay, and as far as your relationship with your brothers and sisters, what would you say it is?
We talk. I would like to talk more, but we definitely do talk. Me and my sister, we share the same father. My brother, he has a different dad, but we were all raised together.
Okay.
And really, truly, my brother's dad is who I really would consider my father, because
wow.
he did raise me, you know, since I was like 1 year old. So really, but we have a tight family going. We just don't talk as much as we like to. We have a lot of things going on. He owns his own company, trucking company, and he's always over the road, so we don't always get to talk.
Okay.
She has multiple kids, and she's a single mother, and she's working multiple jobs. So she really doesn't have a lot of time to talk. So we do group text. It's a lot easier for us.
Yeah.
Just to say, hey, I love you, miss you, how's things going? So we do that. We try to stay in contact with each other, but we also do talk on the phone.
Right.
Me and my brother are a little bit closer than me and my sister, but that's because we both like to work on cars.
Okay. but the group texting is working.
Oh yeah.
My family does that also. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Right.
As long as we staying connected,
Right.
that's what matters. Growing up, did you graduate high school?
Yep. Class of 2000.
Okay, class of 2000. What high school did you go to?
Clayton High School.
All right. Well, shout out to the class of 2000, and shout out to Clayton. Did you go to college after high school?
I did my freshman year,
Okay.
but then I got in trouble. I caught a felony.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your freshman year in college.
Right after.
How did that happen?
Being stupid. Basically broke into somebody's house and me and a couple people stole a bunch of guns. Got caught with the guns on the way to try to get rid of them, and there you go.
Wow. That must have been a life-changing moment.
It was. It really was. One of the things I tell people was Tupac said it best. When I was in elementary, I never thought I'd ever see my mama hugging on me from the penitentiary. When I got locked up, that was one of the things I was like, I never thought this. I never thought I would see myself in this situation. But yet I did find myself in that situation. So thinking about those things, once that happened, I was just ready to get my bid done and start over for myself.
I don't blame you. You went to prison?
Yeah.
How long did you go to prison for?
I was there for 16 months.
16 months. So about a little over a year.
Yeah. A year, 4 months.
Right. How was your prison experience?
Eye-opening. That's what it really was. There wasn't really like a whole lot of drama. Pretty much everybody got along. And that's mainly because the prison that we were at, most everybody that was in your block was from somewhere you know.
Okay.
There was a couple people you already knew in there. When you got there, a couple people came in after you got there that you knew. So it was like an extension of your hometown, which you never want that to be. Anybody in your hometown to be locked up.
Right.
But it was like an extension. So for me, it was a little bit easier to kind of acclimate.
Okay.
And then once I did, it was easy and I was able to just do my time and keep my head down and come on out.
Okay. So if we was rating North Carolina prisons, 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest, what would you rate North Carolina prison system?
That's a good question. Because not all the prisons in North Carolina system are the same. I'm glad they closed some of them down, specifically the high rise, because that was very bad. I would say if you just want to give it a general, I'm gonna say a 7, because North Carolina was going to get their time out of you. They're going to get the most. You really better have some good mitigating circumstances to help keep your time down. They're going to get the most they can out of you. They tried that with me. They couldn't. Matter of fact, for instance, in what they call my pre-sentencing report, they said that I had actually smoked weed that morning. My co-defendants told them they smoked. I never said that. When I went to court for sentencing, the judge tried to give me an extra 3 years based off of what they said, but my lawyer was smart enough to know my client never said that.
Right.
And he pulled out the transcript, and he was like, you never see that in the transcript. And the judge was like, I can't hold that to him, because he never said that. Like I said, North Carolina's going to try to get you for everything.
Right. I can only imagine if you didn't have a lawyer.
Right.
Wow. And 16 months, was that your first felony?
Yeah, it's my only felony.
That seemed quite long to be your first felony.
Well, there were 7 stolen shotguns.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And I could have got 5 years for every one.
Wow.
So I thank God for that.
So do you feel like you got off the hook a little bit, or? was it a situation where you just felt like you got what you got?
I really feel like it wasn't I got off the hook. I really feel like it was more of a here's your scared straight moment. You feel me? Because nobody wants their freedom taken from them.
Right.
And all of a sudden, one night, I'm out here hanging out with my friends. I go and do something stupid the next day, and I'm locked up for the next 16 months. I can't hug my mama. I can't do this. To me, it was more of a scared straight. Not got off easy, or or they gave me too much or whatever. It was more of a scared straight situation for me. Get your life together. Stop running these streets, doing the stupid stuff. Go and get a job. I'm one of the highest paid supervisors at my job today.
Okay.
So
you turn your life around.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long after the prison bid did your life get turned around?
It took me a while to find a decent job. There was little penny any side work I could do, but it took me a while to find a company that would actually look past my record. And the main thing that really helped them do that was when I went through the interview process, I told them about it. And at the time, I was still on probation from my sentence. So finding that company and them believing in me also gave me the confidence that I can actually do this no matter what. And that really turned my life around.
Now, that's what stuck out to me right there. You said confidence.
Right.
That's what it takes sometimes. How you been?
Huh?
How you been?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good too. You still got my number? You got my card?
Yeah. No.
Let me get it to you. My bad, brother. That I interviewed her. I remember this interview right here. Yeah, you went in. You went in on yours. Yeah, call me, text me, man, so I can pull back up and do an update with you.
Okay.
All right. My bad, brother.
Are you good?
We was getting good on your story too. You said it took you to build your confidence. So are you saying you can get a good job with a felony?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It might not be necessarily in the field you want, but oh, yes. If I could literally tell you how much I make an hour, I would. But trust me, I am well above the market and I get paid hourly. Well above the market. My wife, too. She's not a felon, but I was able to help her and she came along with the same company and she is well above the average.
Okay, and what field of work do you do?
We work in the live entertainment industry.
Okay.
Kind of put two and two together, you can kind of figure it.
Live entertainment industry. And can you break that down a little bit?
Concerts, comedy shows. I've worked more concerts than more people will ever see in their life.
So are you a promoter?
No. I just work with the company parking cars. I'm a supervisor and we park cars and...
So it's like a valet?
No, I actually tell you to stop right here. This is where I need you to be. Stop. Then I move to the next car. Stop. Move to the next car. Stop. Move to the next car. Stop. And I build the entire parking lot without there being any actual parking spaces in there.
Wow. So every space is money.
Yeah. Yeah. Every space is money.
And what size parking lot are you using?
I think my record is 1655. That's how many cars I put in one parking lot.
1655
1,655
cars in one parking lot.
in one parking lot for one show.
Wow. And I'm pretty sure they was charging maybe like $10 or $20 per spot.
No. They charge a different way. They charge per ticket.
Okay.
You bought a ticket, I bought a ticket, he bought a ticket, she bought a ticket.
Okay.
It's already included. So I don't have to collect any money. I just park cars.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, so you think about how much more they're making off one car if they come 4 people to a car.
Right. Okay. So, you a supervisor.
Yes, sir.
Can you give us, and you say you're hourly paid.
Hmm?
Can you give us like a ballpark of what you make? Is it in the teens? Is it in the 20s? Is it in the 30s?
It's in between the last two.
The 20s and the 30s. Okay.
So is hers.
Yeah. That's very good, brother.
And it's like a 10-hour show every show. So somewhere in between there, you can do any number you want to and do the math at 10 hours before taxes.
Right.
Where you got some people only making 12 and 13, 10 hours, and I'm pretty much doubling in one day what they do, which I'm so proud of and I'm glad of. I love my company. I do.
Okay. And how often do you work?
3-4 days a week.
Okay. That's pretty good.
It is.
That's amazing, brother. Yeah.
It's one of the things that's really.
What's up, brother?
It's one of the things that really over the past year and a half has really helped improve my life. As far as my living situation, where I was still only making but so much, where I was week to week, now I don't have to worry. You get what I'm saying? I'm making enough now where I don't have to worry about anything.
And when you got this job, did they check your background?
Yes, they did actually.
Okay. So this is what I want to put out there because I experienced what you're talking about. And I would say, I would agree with you when you say you can't get a good job with a felony.
Right.
It's definitely possible.
Right.
But the statement I would put out there is it gets better with time.
It does. It does. It does.
So the longer your charges is behind you, the better off you will be when you apply for these jobs.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%.
So is that the key or the recipe to getting good jobs?
No, that's definitely not the recipe, but that is going to, in the end, it does play out that way. Because really, when you think about it, when a lot of companies look at your background record, they're looking to see what you did, if it's a violent crime, and not only that, how long ago it was. So, it doesn't matter if you have to have time and you can get a good job. Because when I got out from mine, my first one, that actually got me started in this company, because I'm with a different company now. But when I first got out after my felony, I was 8 months out. And I'm going to tell you what I really did. I went to the unemployment office with one of my homeboys because I had a little gig that I was doing. And he needed a job, and he said, let's go down to unemployment. So while he was there, I filled out a referral, and they was like, we think you'd be perfect for this. And I was like, okay, we'll send it in. They ended up calling me, and next thing I know, here I am. Assistant manager in that company. I left there and went to this company, and here we are.
Okay. So, like a temp agency.
Yeah, you could do it that way. I mean, that is a start. Don't just settle for nothing. Anything is best than going back out to the street is what I would say. Anything is better than that.
So, for individuals that find themselves getting out of prison, are you saying you will motivate them to start off with a temp service for placement?
Right.
Instead of trying to worry about, okay, finding a job or doing all of these random applications online.
Right.
Are you saying you'll motivate them just to go to a temp service?
They're great, but you're not guaranteed work.
Okay.
So what I suggest is go to your local unemployment security office. Talk with a caseworker. Get you a caseworker. Get your referrals. They know certain places that specifically hire convicted felons.
Okay.
And that's their market they aim at, is to try to help people. Matter of fact, Food Lion is one of those markets that really try to help convicted felons.
Okay. So you giving out resources right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, somebody had to tell me. I didn't know all those resources, and I'm glad that somebody did tell me, because if they didn't, who knows where I would be.
Right.
There are resources out there that you can go to your local unemployment security office. There are certain Bureau of Prisons in this country. I don't know about North Carolina, but they do offer job assistance
Break
upon
that down.
release. Basically, upon your release, if you got you're taking certain classes and they know, so like they say, you went and you've already taken all the book work for heavy machinery operator. You just ain't got it. They can help you get into that schooling program where you get the actual hands-on experience. And every warehouse needs somebody to drive a forklift.
That's right.
So I mean, there are certain avenues. There are avenues you can take. There are even avenues you can take while you're in prison to get those resources. You can just start with the guards. They have social workers in prison. They do. It's just nobody wants to take advantage of it. They have social workers in prison. They have social workers in homeless shelters. They have social work. I even went to a church that's got a social worker sitting in the front office.
Wow.
They have resources. These social workers are out here. They're not out here to help you. They're not here to judge you. They're actually here to help.
Okay. All right. Well, we've been going for about 25 minutes. So we're going to be continue this interview, man. It's definitely going to be a part 2 to this.
All right, I'm with that.
You was giving out some good stuff in this interview. I like that, brother.
I appreciate that.
Let's end it with this. For any younger fellas or women finding themselves just now getting out of prison, what are the first couple things would you motivate them to do getting out?
First thing I would do is I would tell you right now, just forget the past. Forget the past. That's it. That's it. Leave that where it is. Move forward. You know you need to get a job. You know what the requirements are of you post-release. If you're on probation, parole, do not miss those. Because why would you set yourself up for failure again? Don't do that. Secondly, job. Third, your family. Spend time with them. It's not all about your friends. Because your family's always got your back. Some friends, they'll just walk away because they can. Just because they can.
That's right.
The last thing I would say is make your own life. Make your own life. It's not anybody else's life. Do what you do. Make your own life, and that's it.
I agree with you, brother. And I will add on to that by saying, if you have goals, make sure you put discipline behind those goals.
Right. That is true.
You know,
Yeah.
it need to be some structure,
Right.
some type of push, some type of motivation. Don't just set a goal just to be setting it.
Right. You gotta hold to it. You gotta hold to it. It's just like everybody sets New Year's resolutions and they never keep them. It's the same thing. If you're setting a goal and you're failing yourself when you don't keep to your goal. Ain't nobody didn't say you can't fail at reaching your goal, but you can get to your goal. Failure is a part of life. That's given. Failing or not, failure is a part of life. You got to get back up. Because if you stay down there, everybody's just gonna walk over you. That's it.
Right.
And you're just a stepping man. Get up. Just get up.
That's right. All right, brother. If anybody wanted to follow you, get in contact with you, do you have any social media sites you want to shout out? If anybody wanted to donate to you, do you have like a Cash App or something like that?
I do. I can't even tell you what it is. Right. Yep.
Yeah, let's
If
put
they
that
want
on
to donate, bro, that's cool. I'm still gonna do what I do, but if they want to donate, my Cash App, hold on, it's gonna be $Alexander 5843.
Okay. And can you spell that Alexander for us, please?
ALEXANDER.
All right. And is it lowercase or capital?
It's all lowercase.
All lowercase.
$Alexander 5843.
All right, you heard this brother giving out resources. You heard him motivating the youth, motivating the people of the community. Y'all want to donate to him, you're more than welcome to. He said you don't got to. He gonna live his life anyway.
Right.
But if you want to, you're more than welcome to. We thank you for doing the interview, brother. God bless you.
Same to you, bro.
All right.